Hello guys, my name is Ishan Manchanda. I'm a marketing consultant and a mentor at Udacity. I welcome you all to my video series Quarantine and Upskill, and this is the last lecture of the LinkedIn series where we focused on how you can grow in your career. Today in the final lecture, we will be talking about a rather interesting programming language, database based language called SQL. I'm very sure you must have heard of this language SQL, structured query language. Now, SQL is linked to two databases. Now, what are these databases? Databases are collection is a collection of information. This could be information about the employees working in a company. This could be information about the users that come to your website, about your customers. It could be anything, and this all information is stored in the form of in rows and columns, which we call databases. Now, this information that is present in these databases needs to be accessed. If you're working in marketing, if you're working in HR, or in any field, as I have been talking about, since the businesses are all online, are all digital based, and a lot of data is produced in each and every work profile, you very necessarily need to understand and know the technique to pull this data from these databases. Now, this can be done through this language, which we know as SQL. So today I'm just going to help you understand why you need, as a marketing and an HR personnel, you need to understand SQL. And I'm continuously saying this, repeatedly saying this. I am just taking HR and marketing as examples, as references. It is necessary for you, if irrespective of your domain or industry, because as I mentioned, as the businesses grow towards this online medium and transform themselves digitally, a lot more data is going to be produced in the future, and as it has been being produced today. So that's the reason everyone should have a basic understanding of SQL. Also, you might not never need it specifically to use SQL. If you do, I think that's one way of very quickly growing in your career, showcasing why you are different. But in other ways also, when you're working in teams, when you have different teams, when you are dependent on the tech team also, you need to have a correlation between the two departments. And you also, as marketing or HR personnel or any other operations personnel, you need to be able to communicate properly and understand the communication coming from the tech team. And in that case, you should have basic knowledge of SQL. And as discussed in the previous lecture, a little bit about the tech involved in and around businesses. So let me start off by talking about why sales and marketing people need to know this language, SQL, structured query language. Now, imagine an Excel sheet which is there in front of you both. Even if you are a marketing or a sales guy, just imagine this situation. Imagine an Excel spreadsheet in front of you where you have all the data points. Data points like who is the name of your customer, how many times has he ordered, when did he sign up, or from which marketing channel did he interact with your business first. The every action that he did on your website, everything is all there on your screen in an Excel spreadsheet. Imagine if that happens, you'll be able to optimize your campaigns if you're in marketing, and you'll be able to keep on improving your knowledge about the customers and improving your sales pitch in turn. So this can happen. This information, these data points can be pulled onto your Excel, but in order to do that, you need to have the knowledge of SQL. So if you know SQL, you'll be able to access user data for increasing your understanding about the customers and optimizing your campaigns. Better ROI, better returns for your business. And if you're into sales, you can access data about these users, increase your understanding, and keep improving your sales pitch. You can have a custom sales pitch if you are able to collect this data, group this data, and segment users based on what data you collect. So just let me give you a taste of what SQL looks like. So this is one query. This has been picked from W3 Schools, which is basically the website where you should start from if you don't have any background in this database language. Start from w3schools.com. So this is an example. For example, if you're working in sales or marketing, let's say you are into e-commerce. Now you have data about customers, the customer ID, the number of orders he's placed. For example, you need to fetch the data and you want to see how the based you want to see a data based on the customer ID, the different customers, their customer ID, their name, and the number of orders they have placed so far from your platform. So this can be done through this query, simple SQL query that you see in front of you. Select orders.customer ID, customers.customer name, count orders.customer ID. So this basically is telling us to select certain data points which will be displayed in the end. These are customer ID from a table or database called orders, customer name from another table called customers, and then the count of the number of orders, which is what I explained as what we are seeing as the example. Now the second line of the query tells us from which table to gather this data from, which it says as from orders. So from orders, obviously you can get customer ID, but for customer name, you need also need information about, you need improve access information from another table, customers. So that's the reason the third statement where there is a join between orders and customers on the basis of a mapping, which is done on the basis of customer ID, which is matched in both the tables. So if the customer ID in both orders and the customer table is matched, if they match, that's the data point that needs to be joined with the orders table, so that all this or the, both the the requirements, the customer ID from orders table and the customer name can be fetched. So the join command basically joins two tables for in order for you to be able to fetch multiple through multiple queries. Then there is group by orders.customer ID. So the data will be grouped on the basis of the customer ID, and order by count. So this basically order by statement just basically is for ascending or descending order. So the count, the value count on that basis as in the ascending order grouped in the group on the basis of customer ID, the database will be displayed in front of you. I hope this simple SQL query was clear to you. Now, as I mentioned, you can start learning from today itself from W3 schools, which is the basic to place to start SQL and even other languages, programming languages as well. So moving on, let me just give you an idea of how SQL can be used by HR professionals. So you all obviously saw that a lot of user databases generated and which can be accessed from these databases. Now working in medium and large scale companies, a lot of employee data is also fetched. For example, when did the employee log in? When did the employee log off? How many breaks? You can on these bases you can calculate how many breaks is an employee taking. If you have a training course planned for the employees, how many employees are taking the training course, and the data related to each and every employee as on the actions that they take on the training platform, right? So the data points can also be fetched, and a lot more can be done if you know your profile better. I've already talked so much in the previous videos about data points and how you can break down your work profile, your process in the entire day into different data points and try and collect those. So a lot of these data points are already stored on the server in the database, which you can get access to, and you can fetch this kind of information from using the SQL language. So for example, if you want to just calculate, you want to just estimate the productivity of each employee, and you want to match it with with certain particular parameters. So let's say you are planning to audit for one team in context of the productivity. Let's say there are 5 members and there is a manager. So you go to the manager, you take a certain from a personal one-on-one session with the manager, you take ratings out of 5, let's say, of all the employees. Now you want to match this with, let's say, one parameter is what is the number of breaks. So you can just fetch the data about the logging in and the logging off in data points from the database about each and every employee of that team, and map it with the ratings that the manager has given. You might find, let's say hypothetically, you might find a correlation between the more the number of breaks, the more the guy is productive. That is a possibility. Like if he's taking break, his mind is fresh, he's able to work better and more efficiently in the remaining time that he's working on his desk, right? So this is one way you can analyze the productivity of your employees. So this is just one use case, one hypothetical use case. Might be a use case that you actually never use, but I hope you get an idea if you're into HR that what you can actually do. And learning SQL language is necessary for you as well, because I'm very sure you must have heard of the field HR analyst, and today there's a good demand of HR people who have this analytical skills, for which SQL is a big necessity. So if you are looking to grow in the HR profile, especially seeing the kind of tech world we are living in. Some analytical skills along with this database language SQL would help you a lot in your career. Same goes with any other domain, be it operations, obviously IT, any other, even if you are in branding, any team you are in, a lot of data is being produced, and you need to learn everything around and around revolving around this what we call as data. So this is it from my side. This was the last video. I hope you enjoyed this series on LinkedIn. Again, you can start off from w3schools.com if you're looking to start learning SQL, which I think you should, considering the situation that we are currently in. The situation, again, as I had mentioned even before starting the series, is not good at all. I've been doing a lot of reading. I've been doing a lot of research about how things could turn out to be, and honestly, things don't look very sharp. They rather look very bad. Something that we have never seen could be coming. But if you're prepared, and if we are ready to fight, there is nothing that can stop us. We are in a world where we have a lot of where we can improve upon our skills. We have technology that can accelerate our growth like never before. Because this stage that we are living in, this world that we are living in, was never there before, and that's why we cannot just just map with the earlier situation as to how the growth was in the earlier situations. Yes, a lot of data has been shown where the current situation is worse than 2008, and some people are also calling it not just a recession, but this could be a depression like the 1930 Great Depression, which went on for a decade. So just prepare for the worst, because these are tough times, and when you're preparing for the worst, just try to be the best. That's the last final advice I could give to you. I can give to you. But and this is not the end on LinkedIn. Of course, I'm going to come up with more videos very soon on for businesses, for working professionals as well. Keep following me. Keep subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done it already. And thank you so much.